Skylanders, a series known by some as Activision's gold mine, and to others, a work of art crafted by the most talented people in the gaming industry, Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions. You probably know Toys for Bob from Skylanders, but if not, you probably recognize Spyro Reignited or Crash 4, or maybe any of the other spin-offs of Crash Bandicoot in recent years. Toys for Bob is a studio you would want to be a part of. Their welcoming environment and their team of talented and respectable people you'd almost consider family definitely helped creating these games with the, of course, family in mind. Speaking of family, one franchise Toys for Bob and Activision pioneered as the household name of debt and fun, Skylanders. With the never really seen before gimmick of slapping your action figures on a pad, transforming it to the game world, definitely put Skylanders on the map. What else probably helped was the load of advertising, millions of pounds of plastic staring you dead in your store, all the merchandise, and of course,
Store's closed.
Not for me, pal. You might say I'm Spyro's hot co-star. I love that little dragon, the way he blows fire at chicks like me. This is an official protest. I am an anti-Spyro activist.
Genghis, come.
What did you say?
now I could get into how much of an absolute gaming legend Spyro is, but I'm sure most of you already know. The PS1 platformer Purple Dragon was front and center of the Skylanders IP for a little more than 2 games. And he wasn't even in the front, despite his name being in the title of the first game. It was clear to the whining 20 to 30-year-old Spyro fans that their boy was milked from his magical dragon udders for free promotion for this new game. I understand to a point why they'd be upset, but you have to think, this franchise put Spyro on the map for millions of kids, me included, and now I'm a dedicated Spyro fan. Not to mention that without Skylanders, we would not have Reignited. And if we did, it'd probably be as bad as the Ratchet & Clank reboot. If you know, you know. Here we are, 8 years since the last mainline game, would have been 7 if it weren't for the scrapped 7th game, killed for Crash and Spyro. But it's clear why it didn't last as long as it should have been. It was getting progressively more expensive, with the first game's characters costing $8 to $10 per one character on average, to the last game's $15 to $20 per character. It was ridiculous. And not everyone could shell out $500 every year for a 7-hour long game. It was unfortunate to see it spiral into obscurity as everyone lost interest and couldn't afford the games. Here we are in almost 2025 and the community is over 80% smaller than what it was, despite it being one of the most money-making franchises of all time. Now that you're all caught up on the history of Skylanders, I think it's time to talk about why the rest of us are here. On this day, October 2nd, 2014, Skylanders Trap Team, the 4th Skylanders game, was released to the world. More specifically, not North America, I think it was Australia. And although it couldn't reach the numbers of the previous year's game, Trap Team was released at the height of the franchise. And unfortunately, it was the beginning of what stupid, annoying YouTubers like to say, Now, what the downfall really is, I won't touch on it here. As I said, there's a plethora of people who claim to know, so go and watch one of their videos if you're really interested. Trap Team was beloved by many, new and returning to the franchise, and even to this day, it stands relatively strong in the eyes of many gamers. It's still referenced in games, and even more surprisingly, internet memes. That's right, Chill Bill was a meme for a bit, as he should be. He's amazing. But as I said, it's been 10 years since this absolute piece of modern gaming art was released, so I feel it's time to look back as to what it was to be a kid in 2014.
We are going Skylander hunting.
We're looking all over the place. We hunting all night and all day.
Skylander hunting.
So let's go. We wanna know
Who's hunting with us? Us. Who's hunting with us? Us. Skylander hunting.
For me, it started on October 5th, 2014. Me and my brother were as invested in the franchise as any other kid was. This game was the modern Pokemon, And as kids in the 90s and early 2000s had their Pokemon cards, I had my Series 3 Twin Blade Chop Chop. My family was in love with this game. Ever since the first game's release, we'd been getting the games and a percentage of said game's roster every year. Unfortunately for Trap Team, it was slower to keep up with the amount of toys released, not to mention how expensive. Now, my family has always been a struggling family, and even to this day, we still aren't living luxury, but for an 8-year-old kid, as long as I got the new Skylanders, luxury was in the toys. Now, while I didn't get every Trap Team character as they released, I still had a good chunk from the years prior, which really kept me invested. With the powers and gold I still had from previous years, as well as the starter pack, me and my brother were set to defeat Chaos for the 4th time. So that's what we did. Now, as you may know, Skylanders games are not extremely long, and for 2 kids going through elementary school, we had so much time to grind this game to its limit. Now, what was really unfortunate was this game had a system never seen in Skylanders up until this point. You need the gimmick figures to unlock the gates. Now, this is pretty frustrating for me and my brother, as we now need our parents to shell out another $200 on toys. And of course, we didn't have that money, so we had to just walk past about every single gate. This doesn't mean we can't get new Skylanders, and we did, but we always had to get cores or clearance characters from past 3 games. It wasn't until about a month later me and my brother got our next Trap Master, Bushwhack, and alongside him we got Chopper, Funny Bone, and Sure Shot Shroom Boom. And for our next trap, the Undead Hand Trap. Now at this point, with me and my brother having our own Trap Masters, we were ready. That following week was non-stop grinding. We went through with our mom and our dad and got all of our favorite characters to level 20, and we were ready for Chaos. After defeating the Golden Queen, us as a family were ready to take on the last level. Not! It was our bedtime, but as kids, we were not gonna take bedtime as a no. When the house was quiet, we both made our way to our Xbox 360. Turned the volume down to the lowest we could while still hearing the bangers produced by Lorne Balfe. Hope I pronounced that correct. And we smoked Chaos. Turns out, we didn't need all of our characters at 20, but at the dead of night, as me and my brother celebrated his final defeat, put a Chaos trap into the portal. We didn't see this coming. The whole game we could trap villains and plays them, but Chaos? Now, sure, looking back, I'm surprised we didn't catch the box art, but whatever. With surprise in our eyes, that's when we had to claim our bounty and call it a night. Now, did our parents find out that we had that late night session of Chaos to Chaos? I doubt it. They probably do now, though. Otherwise, me and my brother were not done with this game. We needed to play as Chaos, meaning we had to use our age-long tactic of puppy eyes and begging our poor parents to buy us the Chaos trap. To our surprise, a week later, a package came in. It was in fact the long-awaited Chaos trap, but now of course, me and my brother knew we had the easy way out. But we didn't want that. So for our first time in our Skylanders journey, we cranked that shit up to Nightmare. And I must say, thank God we got our characters up to 20, because the following weeks were torment. For those of you who don't know, Skylanders Trap Team has debatably the hardest nightmare mode in the whole series. Our collection of a few Skylanders from each game wouldn't be enough. Our awesome parents knew that we'd been battling for so long, but what me and my brother didn't know was what they had been saving for one of the hauls of a lifetime. It was early morning in our Utah home. Me and my brother had our cereal, thought nothing about what the day might bring. While finishing our food, we went to our couch as we usually do when our parents came in with the biggest bag from GameStop we'd ever seen. This bag contained some Trap Masters that would help us get to the end and about a dozen characters from each game. So for the next few days, we grinded and grinded with our new army. It was time again. Chaos, or more specifically, Nightmare Mode Chaos. This required everything we had. Villains, armies, a nap or two, and every fruit snack and pint of juice we had in the house. This was it. The finale. With Chaos defeated, it was time. We'd both been waiting for this moment for weeks. It was now time. Portal Master to Portal Master, we put in the trap, and just like that, we had done it.
Hey, knock it off! Put me down? You haven't seen the last of me! Are you fucking...
Now, while we didn't have every character, far from it, we both loved this game franchise more than any other. The gimmick of putting your toy on a magical pad, playing as the toy, was an idea I'd never really seen, and it only made the experiences we had so much more magical. It was nice to revisit this story once more, and I think out of all the memories I had with this game and this community, the story Trap Team has for me and my family is my favorite, and I'll never forget it. I know this video isn't informational as I wanted it to be at first. I wanted the video to be all about the scrapped content and the story of how the game was being made, but I feel that this story was more important to me, so that's why I shared it. So with that, happy 10th year anniversary to Skylanders Trap Team, and thank you guys at Toys for Bob for making these games, but most importantly, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.